Hey guys, I know I listed a lot of these things in my Thanksgiving special, but I felt like it really deserved to be its own video. So I'm doing it over again, and I've got 20 things listed here that either I would go back and tell myself as a younger version of myself, or I would just tell somebody that's young and doesn't know any better yet, or just things that just make your life easier. 20 things that make your life easier and just make you feel better about yourself if you practice these things. We could just say that. Okay. So, number one, much of what you think is you isn't, it's just energy. So, before I knew all that I know about energy work now, if I was in a bad mood, or if I was really sad, or I felt depressed, or I started, going into a lack mentality or any of the negative feelings, I would have thought that that was me. And I would have, maybe judged myself or thought that, oh, now I'm on a downward spiral, or, oh, it's that time of the month, or, oh, it's, I really have to work on that. I really got to grunt through and figure this out and now I know that there are influences like what's going on in the energies of our planet, our ascension, the Great Awakening, ascension symptoms even. There's black magic that can be put on you. There are people who would actually direct a feeling at you just to make you fail, or just to hold you down and stop you from being a light. There are even like general spells put out in the world. There are even shows that you watch that you think are positive, or that have a positive title, and you'll start watching them, and then you'll realize, wow, this gives me anxiety. This is, getting me into like a fight or flight feeling, like it doesn't feel very good. Or you listen to a certain music and it makes you really mad or whatever. So now I take a look at it, I separate myself from it, and I say, that's not me, because I know who I am normally. And when I see something happen where I'm not feeling like I'm being myself, which is pretty chipper, nonchalant, lets things roll off pretty easy, easygoing, laughing a lot, singing, humming, that type of stuff. So if I'm not that way and I start acting some other way, and of course, you have your situations where something is actually causing, like you're getting triggered. Somebody's treating you in a certain way and it's making you upset. Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about there's nothing actually explainable. There's nothing actually happening. Like, let's say you feel really lonely and depressed, but you're not actually lonely or depressed, if that makes any sense. Like, it's inexplicable because you're like, no, normally I would just be sitting here watching this movie, just enjoying it. But all of a sudden right now, I'm feeling like I'm comparing myself to other people, and I'm feeling depressed, and it's making me want to eat, or, stuff like that, where you're just like, normally, like in general, when I wake up and go throughout my day, I'm not actually thinking thoughts that cause the depression to happen. I'm not actually thinking things that make me feel lonely. I'm actually happy being alone. That type of thing. If it's out of whack for how you normally are, and there's no actual, like, a lot of people don't even, like, they just automatically assume that what they think and feel is who they are. They're not as aware as I am, to where I know who I am, and I know how I act, and I know the thoughts. Like, my mind is not I'm very self-aware. So I know the thoughts that I'm thinking, and I know that I'm not thinking thoughts that would lead to me feeling that way. Thoughts lead to feelings, or feelings lead to thoughts, but they're related. So, yeah. So some of you need to just stop when you have that, when you're feeling down, or you're feeling lack, or something that you hadn't felt in a while, or something that you that just kind of came out of nowhere. Ask yourself some questions. Learn to tap into your intuition and ask yes or no. I do a video about how to hold a divine guidance council meeting. You could watch that video, and it teaches you how to find your yes and find your no, and talk to your spirit crew and ask them certain questions. So you could do it that way. Or you could just say, okay, is this black magic? Is a friend doing this to me? Is it maybe somebody who's jealous? Ask those questions. Is it the energies right now? Is it something I need to be concerned about? Is it what I'm watching on TV? Is it, or if you have like friends that can help you hash it out, it's, if, um, yeah, don't make it about you. Make it a problem that needs a solution. How and also keep in mind too, that you could be being put through it. If you're a leader like me, or you have your own channel or something, you could be being put through it to have a learning lesson, or to go through something and overcome it, so that you can share it with your audience, or help your clients, or whatever it is too. So it could be just something that you're being put through, to have you grab some quick tools, work it out, and then share it. I almost everything that happens in my life is like that. It's all very, very synchronistic and magical, really. But there's so many things that happen to me when I don't know why they're happening necessarily, but I get through them with my tools. And then sure enough, here comes somebody that I end up doing a reading for. And I'm like, oh, this was for you. Here, I figured it out. Here's your puzzle. I already put it together, and they're like, oh, great. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed. And it never even had to do with me. None of it, So it's not you, it's energy. Or it could be like a lower astral entity. Maybe you just need to clear your chakras. Do my black magic clearing, do a chakra clearing, do a guided meditation. If you just basically, if qigong flushes your system out of any like any negativity out of your system completely, you can always pray. You can just say, thank you, God, so much for giving me clarity and an epiphany around the situation. You could ask for that. Thank you for showing me the truth in all things. Thank you for showing me why this is happening. Sometimes something is for your protection. And I think this is going into like another point that I was going to make. And so we'll get there later. Okay. But, yeah, so it's all just energy, and it could be something that's being put actually on purpose, put at you, put on you, directed at you. So learn how to protect yourself, learn how to decipher, how to discern, learn, and start work. Like, don't watch those kinds of shows that make you feel that way, and see what happens. Do you feel better afterwards? Meditate and stay present in the moment. That's one of the best ways to bring yourself right back into alignment, into who you are. When you drop the stories, you drop the suffering, or do Byron Katie's work or something like that. Because Byron Katie's work really brings you back into the center as well. She helps you alleviate and eliminate like the stories that you're telling yourself. I'm just pouring some chicory. My throat's a little dry. Do you know why? I only just started talking. Okay. It's better. Okay. Number 2, affirmations actually work. I remember back when I was younger and I was in a more negative mindset, and I was in a state of lack and things like that. And that's all that I knew, is other people who were just like me. I would hear people talk about the law of attraction and affirmations and things, and I'd just be like, that's just wishful thinking. That's just fantasy. That's just, that's not reality. Repeating something to yourself doesn't make it so. Like, to me, I was like, that's got to be something people just made up to give people hope, to false hope, to make money or something, is what I used to think of that. But um when you really, really feel it and you say it, whatever you can believe. So when I spend, for every dollar I spend, I get $10 back. If you believe it and you say that, thank you, God, so much that everything I put out comes back times 10. If you feel that, if you can actually you can pretend you're an actor or an actress and believe it that way. You can be like, I am, I am believing that everything that I put out there, whatever effort I make or whatever money I put out or whatever it is, whatever I put out comes back times 10. If you can just get into the feeling of believing it, even if you're being an actor for a minute, get into the feeling of believing it, pretend to believe it even, and just really feel it. Just really, really feel it. And you're going to stretch that faith muscle. And then you really, then you're like, yeah, I could see how that would feel to feel that way. And then practice it and say it and mean it and say it and mean it. And then when you see it show up in your reality, then you can actually affirm it. Ah, it's true. I spent $10 the other day and I just got 100. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much that everything I put out comes back times 10. Or maybe you did a favor for a friend and all of a sudden you notice they did a way bigger favor for you, or maybe another friend came forward and did way more for you. Oh my gosh, thank you. It's so true. It's really true. I got to put this on a post-it note or something because this is true. Then it becomes more solid and then you'll see it more often and then more and more often. It starts to really breed and grow. It's amazing. So just try it, say it, and really mean it and really feel it, because you have to feel something in order to materialize it in your world. You really got to feel it. So if there's something you want really bad, just really imagine that it's true. Just really feel that it's absolutely true and it's completely possible. See yourself living it, smell it, wake up to it, whatever it is. Use your imagination. Use your imagination and even more than that, get in the vibe of it. Think of like what kinds of things would you say if that was happening in your life now? Well, you'd be like waking up excited, ready to go on your day. You'd be like, oh, I get to go to Hawaii today. Like if Hawaii is your ultimate, like that's where I would love to live or something. Wow, I'd be like getting out and going out on the beach every morning. Oh my gosh, I'd be so relaxed. I'd feel so excited and happy and creative. I'd probably want to read, or maybe I'd want to do some art, So get yourself in that frame of mind, and it's like you'll start to live that. And that's when you're manifesting and bringing it into your world. So you also have to let it go. The key to manifestation is to know that it's coming. So you feel it, believe it, and just know that it's coming and just have faith. You just placed your order with the universe, it'll come. And don't sit there and go, well, it's been 2 hours. Where is it? It's been 2 days. Don't keep track of how long it's been that you've been waiting for it. Drop any expectation of any kind of time. EBS, for example, like, oh, it's been a day since we thought the EBS was coming. No, just know the EBS is coming, and then you just mind your own stuff, mind your own business, Okay, number 3, no one's gonna save you. Learn to be your greatest ally. Have your own back. Become independent and empowered in all areas of your life. I have a client who doesn't drive, for example, and she's waiting for her divine masculine. Now we're talking about true love couples here, which you can learn more about by going to my playlist all about true love. And she's kind of dependent on him even to go and do anything. Or, so she's like, well, come back in my life so I can go places, or, or some feminines are broke. Some feminines have debt. Like in summer, in whatever situation you're in where you feel like if you feel unsafe by yourself and you feel like you need your masculine to come protect you, any of that, anything you feel like you wish something would be different than it is right now, because then you'd be okay. Whatever that is, be that, get that for yourself, get that safety, get that security. The biggest way to get safety and security, by the way, as a shortcut, since we're talking shortcuts today, is to be present in the moment. Again, when you're present in the moment, you have safety and security automatically, because you're not in your head where there is suffering. So, but whatever it is, learn how to drive, go take those lessons. If you feel like you suck at something, go read a book on it. Stop sucking at it. If you're not happy with your health or your body, work on it. Make it a priority. Be disciplined about it. Whatever it is that you feel like you are lacking right now, that you wish were better, or something, do something about it. Your addiction. Oh, I can never be with somebody because I'm addicted to this, or because I'm this, or I'm always doing that, or nobody would understand because that would be really putting somebody out. Do something about that. Do something about it. Get proactive and get empowered. Get rid of your debt. Or just whatever it is, whatever it is that makes you feel uncomfortable about your life right now, and you feel like your life would be made better if you had somebody else or some different circumstances, then somehow get yourself empowered, get yourself independent. If you feel like you can't do anything because you are under your mother's power or influence, or you're afraid of what people think or whatnot, do something about that. Don't sit there and make it an excuse as to why you're just sitting there doing nothing in your life. You're going to waste so many years and so much time doing that. Or I'm too shy, or I'm too scared, or I'm not good enough. Any of that stuff. Do something about it. Read a book about it. Go take classes somewhere. Talk to a mentor. Talk to somebody you really respect and be like, how do you get there from where I'm at? I don't know what it's like to even be authentic and genuine. Well, go talk to somebody you feel is authentic and genuine and ask them, how did you do it? I feel like a big fake. I feel like, a hypocrite, whatever, fix it. Just fix it yourself. And that's going to boost your confidence and lead to another thing, which we're going to get to. Okay. Number 4, when you complain about someone, it's those traits in you that you're actually upset with. Heal those things and those things go away. So anything that, if you're getting triggered by anybody and you say that, oh, that person's deceptive or manipulative or whatever it is, and you honestly think you're an honest person, and you're not like that, right? And oh my gosh, how could they be getting away with that? That's just, it may be true that you do have a philosophy of being honest and genuine and things like that, and you are most of the time. However, the universe is trying to point out to you right now, by triggering you with that there is something you are manipulating somehow. There's some way you're either being deceptive with yourself or with other people, or, disingenuous, or maybe you're in denial about something, or whatever it is. But those triggers are there on purpose to help you to do some soul searching and to look deeper into something, right? So this is another reason Byron Katie's work does such a great job, because it actually, this is what you do as part of the exercise, is you examine all the different sides to something, and you see that everyone is the same. Everyone is the same, you guys. There's no reason to ever be intimidated by anyone, anywhere, anyhow. All of us poop, all of us pee, all of us sin, and sin is just misalignment. All of us fall short of something. All of us feel like we're not good enough for something. All of us feel ugly somewhere, somehow, in some way. All of us get angry and feel embarrassed about it. All of us have something we feel guilty and ashamed about. all of us have done something that we wish that we could go back and change, and we can't. So we have to just deal with it and look at it in the best light possible, or overeat and indulge and be addicted to something as a result of it. All of us are human beings. Well, most of us, I should say, are human beings that are just living by the influence of the ego, which I think is artificial intelligence. Negative artificial intelligence is influencing us right now until we are ascended and until we are enlightened, which I have been for 6 months. And so I've lived in the 5D before, and it's dramatically different than this. There is no ego anymore, guys. In the 5D, the higher levels of the 5D, there's not a worry in the world, and there's no ego, and there's no separation between people at all. We know we're all the same. So start getting used to that feeling now. Start realizing that point now. And stop judging anybody. Quit saying somebody else is your problem, and quit finding fault with other people. Don't complain about other people, or go ahead and complain. Write it down. This person is a jerk. And then go, okay, how are you being a jerk? Ask yourself that in the mirror. And some of these things were like, yeah, I know, I've heard that, or I know that we should do that, but are you really doing it though? Are you sitting down and reflecting and with a pen and paper and really hashing it out? Don't do it in your mind, you guys. The ego's in control of your mind, and it tries to put a pacifier in your mouth like a little baby. Don't do it in your head. It doesn't work. It doesn't do anything but give you like a little band-aid and make you feel like, oh, I accomplished something. I had the really, it's like saying that, oh, I caught it. I realize it's the man in the mirror, just saying that doesn't actually do it. Or stopping, you may stop yourself from complaining and be like, oh no, I just need to look in the mirror. Oh, that's so wise of you, right? But no, do you actually hash it out? Do you actually sit down and go, how am I lying to myself right now? How am I deceiving myself right now? And really think about it. Really go through everything from the moment you wake up and when you get dressed, what you think about what you're about to go do at work, the clashes that you have at work, like things that go against your integrity, things that go against what you really want to do. Are you taking a really good introspective look at your triggers and how they're just as much you as they are that other person that you are picking on in a way? In other words, see the log in your own eye before pointing at somebody's sliver, All right. Number 5. It's possible to live a life without complaints and gossip. Friendships can be healthy and supportive. And sometimes friends can be more family than family is. So I used to actually think that like, how would you have a relationship with somebody or friends with somebody without fighting, gossip, and complaining and comparing and all the negativity? But when I have allowed myself to contemplate that, I have let friends go pretty easily as I've gone through the years. It's become easier and easier that when somebody shows up as inauthentic, or they seem to be using me, or they're not giving back to me like I'm giving to them, or any of that, you don't have to judge it. You just get away from it, and you go toward people who are uplifting, people who make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, people who are good to you, people who are honest with you, people who are vulnerable with you, and share from the heart like you do. Somebody who gives back to you the same way you do. They don't just take your little tidbits and gather them up for themselves and don't give you any of themselves, So And now it's like the more that you bring in that kind of energy, the more that you kind of prune and snip out people who don't treat you the best, or that you just feel uncomfortable around, and you're people pleasing because it's your cousin, or because it's your mom's, somebody your mom said you should hang out with, whatever. It's like, if it doesn't make you happy, snip and prune it, because you're going to have like some really great people come into your life. And then once you've had that, you're just like, wow. And then somebody uncomfortable comes in your life and you're like, no, no, no. And you won't even hang out for a minute. You won't want to have anything to do with it. You'll be so repelled from it. So the more you get around more authentic people and more people like yourself, where you can totally be yourself with, where you can do whatever you want to and dress however you want to and say whatever you want to, pull out your tarot cards and talk about God, talk about whatever you want to, and you don't have to censor the conversation, to make everybody happy. Get those people around you, those people who you truly can be yourself with, and you can be goofy and silly with, and you can admit your faults with, and they hold you gently, and they don't belittle you, or they help you figure stuff out, and then they don't judge you either. So it is possible, and it gets so great that you won't even want the negativity in your life anymore in any way, shape, or form. All right. So 6, you don't have to have anyone or anything in your life that's not properly supporting you, even your family. All right. So again, it's kind of similar. But yeah, if somebody's not supporting you or giving to you the way that you're giving to them, if it's not reciprocal, if they don't have your back like you have their back, if they're causing problems in your life, if they're putting obstacles in your way, if they're talking bad about you behind your back and you're making excuses for them, or you're saying that you have to be them because of XYZ, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Nothing at all. If you're complaining about your job, you don't have to go to that job anymore. If you don't like the way that, you have to be in traffic for 45 minutes every day, stop doing that. Work from home, or learn to look at it differently. Learn to look at your drive in such a way that you're actually like, hey, it's great meditation time. Either make yourself see the situation that's really beneficial, and you're not in denial about it, but it actually truly is beneficial for you, or, do something about it. So just because somebody's your family member doesn't mean anything. Blood doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. Somebody's really truly got to be there for you and be supportive of you and be a healthy relationship in order to earn your time, space, energy, attention. Otherwise you could be focusing it on yourself or others who are truly giving to you and supporting you. Those are the ones who deserve it. So stop throwing your pearls to pigs. I love that saying because it's so true. It's like, why would you, give a big trophy to somebody who's going to see it as like, what am I going to do with that? Not even care about it and stick it in a box somewhere because they don't even like it. It's like, and something you spent a lot of money on or something. It doesn't make any sense. Give it to somebody who's actually going to love it, who's going to be like, oh my gosh, that is the best thing you've ever given me. I love that thing. Oh my gosh. I'm going to sleep with that thing, I'm going to cuddle that thing and just be like, oh, my trophy, whatever, Okay. So number 7, your life dramatically improves the more you act as your own best friend with compassion, empathy, not beating yourself up, healing guilt and regret, not comparing yourself to others, having healthy boundaries, and making things that make you happy a priority. In other words, putting your happiness first and being your own best friend. I hear so many people in my sessions where they're talking about how, oh, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, well, would you want your best friend to be going through that? Well, no. Well, then why are you putting yourself through that? Oh, sometimes we don't stop to think that we should be treating ourselves the same way that we would treat our most cherished person in our lives. Would you have your mother do that you love? Would you have your best friend do that? Would you have your true love counterpart do that? Then why are you doing it? Just learn to there was a time back in the day where I wouldn't even, like, somebody would say love yourself and I'd just be like, what the hell are you talking about? What does that even mean? I mean, I seriously would like rack my brain, like, love yourself. What? And then I realized that there's a relationship that you have with yourself. It's in the way that you think of things. It's how you decide to look at things. Either you're being supportive of yourself. So you almost have to treat yourself like you're somebody else, but you're within you in a way. Can you look in the mirror and smile at yourself and say, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful inside and out. You've got your flaws, but at this time of day, wow, when you wake up in the morning, wow, you look fabulous. Like picking out the good stuff, being your biggest cheerleader. Look at how far you've come. Look at 2 years ago. Would you ever have even thought this? Would you ever be doing this? You don't even care about this anymore. Isn't that incredible? Like, what are you choosing as your thoughts? What are you choosing as your habits? What are you choosing as your behaviors? What are you choosing to do? The choices we have to make on a regular everyday basis, whether we watch TV or we do this thing, or whether we read a book or we go, play with the animals or go hang out with friends, or what the choices that we make. Are you being loving to yourself making those choices? Or are you setting yourself up for a situation to just be able to beat yourself up over in a minute? Are you self-sabotaging on purpose just so tomorrow you can call yourself an idiot? Why keep that cycle going? Do you love yourself enough to notice the cycles and to stop the cycles? Do you notice yourself enough to do Byron Katie's work every day, or some kind of written exercise, or journaling, or riding a bike, or whatever you feel like you need to do? If you're beating yourself up because you're not doing qigong now like you used to do it every day, now you do it every once in a while, something like that. Just start doing it again. Love yourself. Just do it again. If that actually makes you feel really good and you feel good about yourself when you do it, then do it. Then just do it again. Don't overanalyze it or just jump off board, because you kind of slipped a little bit or something. Just get back in it. Just do it again. So, so just even reflect right now, or, when the video is done, or at some point soon, just ask yourself these questions. Just be like, am I treating myself lovingly? Do I get myself a nice lunch every day? Like a good healthy lunch that's good for my body? Or do I do the quick and easy route and go to fast food, even though I know it's terrible for me? In which ways am I not loving myself? And then do something about it. Okay. 8, don't let anyone or anything rattle your peace or present moment. So you start to learn to live your life like, am I peaceful? Am I present? Am I peaceful? Am I present? Am I peaceful? Am I present? And if you're not peaceful or present, do something about it. It's like you learn to start taking action, like right now, like right now, like right now. You stop making excuses for things and you start just, finding that you're out of alignment and getting back in again, getting back in, however you want. There's so many tools. There could be jumping up and down and getting excited for no reason at all, just to boost your energy and get excited. Maybe you take a nap and don't beat yourself up over that, But Yeah, don't let anything rattle your peace or presence. Don't let them bring you into their drama either. Or if somebody's putting a bunch of pressure on you, and that's like, I don't care to have that kind of pressure. Thank you. You know, think I'll go talk to this person over here who's not all about pressure. So just navigate that way. Notice, be self-aware enough to catch yourself on a downward spiral, and raise yourself right back up again. Get right back up. So catch yourself and go, brrr, brrr, listen to a cool song, dance around, whatever you got to do. Okay. And number 9, sex is better when you both love and respect each other deeply. Don't throw your pearls to pigs there either. You think it'll make you feel better to have sex for fun, but it erodes at your self-esteem and is not healthy energetically. You open yourself up to all kinds of demons and insecurities. Communicate, and also another thing I've learned about sex is learning to communicate what you want. And relaxation is the key to pleasure. So those are some things to keep in mind when it comes to intimacy. And start having some good, honest communication about it. Learn about it, read books about it. Stephen Chang's book, what's it called? The Tao of Sexology, TAO of Sexology. There's Tickle Pickle. There's a Netflix series all about pleasure. So get comfortable with it. Get comfortable with it. Learn about it. It's a big issue in our society. It really, really is. And people see it in such a tainted way. And people who watch porn have such a messed up view of it because they think that that's what it's supposed to be like in the bedroom. And it's not. It can be sometimes. But, on a regular everyday basis, it's like in comparison to that, it's like, come on, like, like we're going to go around, like, I don't know. We're not living a fairy tale. We're not living a fantasy world here. So you're going to have up days and you're going to have down days, and you're going to have days when you don't communicate right and other days when you do. So try to cut yourself slack and try to figure out flirty, fun ways of communicating things that you want, as uncomfortable as that subject can be. I'm trying to drink, but I can't. Hang on. Relaxation really is key to being able to enjoy yourself. As so many of you that I talk to too in sessions don't even want to go near that subject. And it's just really too bad, because that's one way of loving yourself too. So if you have any kind of an issue with sexuality or of any sort at all, sort it out, guys. It's time to really go after everything and heal it, Number 10, listen, just listen and keep your mouth closed. You can respond later, but while it's happening, just listen. Try that often. Go to an event or a party or something that you normally go to, and you're usually chatty Cathy or something, and just sit there and just be quiet. Don't say anything, and then see what happens. Reflect back on it after you're out of the situation and go, well, that was really interesting to just observe. It'll give you some incredible insights. You could even like go silent for a few days or a week. Don't talk to anybody. You can write stuff down, but it'll really shift some things too. When you're forced to write things down, you're much more careful about what you say, what you communicate to somebody, because you have to really think about it. It's like, that's going to take a lot of effort to write all that down, So just try to be quiet. And when somebody's talking to you, don't try to defend yourself. Just truly listen and try to understand them and how they're feeling. And they may be trying to blame something on you even. Don't take that on, though. That's their own projecting. That's their own stuff that they're making up in their own head. It's got nothing to do with you. So you may be like, well, they're just making it up, though. They're lying, and they've got this story about me that's not true, and you'll want to just fight it. But fight that urge and just truly listen and care. Try to really, really get where they're coming from. And then once you've totally heard them out and even sat there and pondered for a minute without any kind of interruption, then you can say something back. I've felt that way before. We've all felt the same feelings before, every one of us. I've felt that way. I've felt jealous before. I know, I get it. I know that feeling. I've felt betrayed before. I've felt, like totally relate to the person who's talking to you completely. Because all anyone really wants is to feel understood and to feel like you get it, like you get where they're coming from, and they're not crazy to be thinking or feeling the way that they are. So help validate them. So, and really, you don't need to have an answer to know what to tell anybody. If you get uncomfortable around crises or people being upset or anything like that, all you really got to do is just be present in the moment and hold their hand or just sit next to them and be quiet. Miracles happen. Miracles happen when you just shut your mouth, in any given situation. Just be quiet. Don't say anything. It's hard. It can be hard, but just don't say a word. And all of a sudden you just see the guard come down. It's pretty cool. All right. 11. Learn to master the ability to quickly climb back out of a lack trap. Striving, pushing, and pressure drain your energy. Learn to leverage your energy by using the law of attraction and changing the way you see money and spending. Get honest with yourself and redefine what you see as success. So if you're able to go out and buy a bunch of things, then acknowledge that. Don't be hard on yourself about going out and buying a bunch of things. Just say, oh my gosh, I was able to go out and buy a bunch of things. Oh my gosh, how abundant am I? I am so grateful I have all these things. Don't be like, wow, I really shouldn't be spending. I shouldn't be getting all those things. Don't beat yourself up, because acceptance is the key to changing anything. So, and being in a state of abundance is what brings more abundance through. So, I like to go to the grocery store and I pick which person that I go to, and I imagine that they live on a farm and they gave me that produce. They grew it themselves, and I'm giving you this money for your family, or I'm supporting this business that's got great policies in place, or that I am happy to spend my money on, and I feel so abundant. Look at what a giver I am. Look at how abundant I am, that I can give freely, that I can pay these bills, that I can, have all these, this roof over my head, or that I can, so just turn all of the things that you feel bad about into a positive somehow, and see it through a positive lens or in a positive light. See how it's a good thing. Now, this leads to my exercise. Thank you, God, for my misery. So whatever it is that you feel victimized by, or that you feel is going wrong, or that you feel you shouldn't be doing or something, write down the benefits and advantages as to why that's actually a perfect thing that's happening right now in your life. I know a lot of businesses have slowed down right now for many, many reasons. People are grieving. People are having people die in their families. They're traveling for the holidays. They've got their own insecurities and lack going on around money. And they feel like, if I spend, then I won't. And it's like, no, you want to spend. You definitely want to spend. You want to keep spending everything. Like, just, here you go. I know it's coming back to me. I got 10 times, 100 times more coming back to me. Like, you want to be in that flow of giving and giving and giving and giving. Give the smile, give the hug, just give and give and give. And know that it's all coming back to you. Even when if times get slow, then that's just you taking some TLC. God knew you needed some tender loving care in that moment. Take more baths, take more naps, write that book you've been meaning to write, do something productive with that time and that energy. But stay in a state of gratitude and abundance. Be constantly affirming all day long. Thank you, God, for all the incredible miracles. Thank you so much that you're always working everything out to my advantage and benefit. Thank you so much that everything in my life just totally supports me. Thank you for all the incredible lucrative opportunities that always come to me. Thank you so much for all the beautiful people, beautiful, like-minded people I'm attracting to me at this time. Thank you so much. So whatever you can be grateful for, or whatever you can pretend to even be grateful for, do that. And you will find that, because everything ebbs and flows. There's nothing that's going to just keep going like this forever. And if you find one of those dips and then you go into a lack mentality instead of going back up again, like you're gonna naturally, then you're gonna go like this, and you're gonna, oh my God, a dip. Oh shit, then you're gonna dig yourself even worse, and you're gonna manifest some bad times, and it's gonna go down like this. And you'll force and knock on doors and try this new thing, and don't spend as much. Oh shit, you get in that mode, and it's gonna start, your dip is gonna be a lot longer. So stay in a state of just flowing with it all and just trusting that the universe is just working it out to your benefit. Okay. 12. Oh yeah, and about redefining success. Take a look at what success means to you. At the end of the day, like just get really honest with yourself and ask yourself, at the end of the day, what does success truly actually mean to me? Probably that I don't feel any guilt or anxiety, and then I can just actually sleep really good. I can have fresh air, and I can be at peace in nature. That's success. It's not like, who cares if anybody looks up to you? Just as quick as somebody looks up to you, they'll look down on you. So who gives a crap what they think? Anybody outside of you is just only looking up to you about this, and they'll just as quick say something bad about you too. And they probably do. You think they think you're the wow, and they don't. And they're just like, well, that guy's an idiot sometimes too. Or like me, people put me up on a pedestal sometimes too, but I know they're looking at me some days and being like, she didn't do her makeup right. She didn't do her, she got this funny thing. What kind of shirt is she wearing? I know that's going on. I don't care. I'm just living my life. I'm living in my own definition of success. So just redefine success and what that means to you. And don't let it be about what other people think of you. And who gives a crap about a car? Who gives a crap about the house that you live in? A comfortable house, yes. One that you feel happy about, or one that inspires you, or gives you a beautiful view that you appreciate, something like that. But, if you had that car and nothing else, what is that going to do? It's just, yeah. Anyway. Okay. 12, keep a little mystery in your life. Everybody doesn't need to know everything all at once. Allow others to earn more information about you. When I was younger, I was like, I still get that way sometimes. I'm a pretty open book, but I used to just tell everybody everything. Like on the second date, somebody would be like, okay, I pretty much know everything about you. So like, well, how do I even get to know you? Because I already know you in like 2 hours. So, you don't just be wise. There's so many times when I did that when I was younger. And I would regret it because they would go away and I'd be like, damn, they know everything about my life. Great. And now they're out there going, oh, this crazy girl that I dated once, she once told me that she blah, 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 blah. And that's all spreading around going to everybody. Now the whole town knows just because you were just blah, 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 blah. So just be wise. You know, you don't have to tell everybody everything about your life. And some of you also, though, are the opposite. You're way too clamped up and you need to open up. So whatever your thing is, just balance is key and discernment is key. And so, yeah. All right. 13, treat yourself well in business too. It's okay to ask for testimonials, guys. Everybody's uncomfortable asking for testimonials that I talk to. And I'm like, no, just call your friend and be like, remember when I did that free treatment for you? And you said it felt so incredible. Well, could you write me a testimonial? You know, and they'll be happy to, of course. Wouldn't you do that for them? So ask for testimonials. Call everybody up that you've ever done something for, even, and be like, hey, I'm creating a new website and would you mind writing me a testimonial? They'll totally do it. People love doing sweet things like that for others. Okay. Charge what others charge. You know? And try to be like, whenever I'm coming up with prices and stuff, I try to be fair. In fact, I'll look at what other people are charging that are doing something that's comparable to what I'm doing, and I'll come down a little bit. I know I actually paid for a reading with a gal for even less time than I do, I think, and paid almost like $700 something. And I got nothing out of it and didn't even get a recording. And it really wasn't all that great. You know, but she does what she does and she charges what she charges, and people who can afford it just do it. Good for her. That's great. And somebody who wants to just charge $20 for what they're doing, you know, if they're happy with that, so be it. You know, but then you look at the online psychics and they, you know, they charge, people pay very easily. They'll pay $2 to $7, and they'll pay top billing. They'll pay like $7 to $10 a minute for a phone psychic, you know? So it's like there's so many variables in my industry. There's so many variables, and I'm on the low scale, especially with my experience level and my accuracy level and my heart. Everything that I bring to the table, my authenticity, the way that I truly care, all that I am, is worth a lot more than what I'm charging right now. All, you know, and just the energy I bring to the whole thing. I know that I'm way undercharging, but it's okay. For me, it feels good to me, and I feel like I'm helping. You know, I don't want to limit myself just to rich people paying for me. At least not at this point. While I have time, I can have these prices. You know what I mean? At one point, like this is a good example too, I guess. I have the world truth cards, and I was on with Michelle Fielding, and all of a sudden I sold 1 million of them. And back then, I'm getting a new system set up now to where I don't even have to handle anything. But back then it was all data entry. I had to go to the website that actually prints them, and I had to put in everybody's name and address and everything. And it was like hundreds of orders. I was crying, and I was like staying up till midnight and waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning just to get it all in. And I was just crushing under the pressure of everybody being like, well, where are my cards? Where are my cards? And I was like, I still haven't gotten there yet. Like, you know, and their system was painful slow. So I'd only get like 7 or 8 orders in a day, because I had everything else going on that, you know, during the day too. And it was terrible, terrible. So I had to up my prices just so that I could slow down the orders. And I had people saying, oh, she just wants the money. I'm like, no, it's not about the money. It had to be like, I was trying to like fend them off. And I was trying to be like, you don't want this, it's too expensive. You don't want this. And then they keep buying more and more. And I was like, I've got to go up in price now. I got to go up in price, you know? And now that the system is how it is, like it's going to go straight to the printer now, I'm like pretty soon. you guys are going to see that I'm going to have a new system, and it's going to be like streamlined process, no problem. I could totally, I'm not, the prices are all going to be pretty across the board, what everybody charges. So, um, so just be fair, And I try to be totally, completely and utterly fair. I have like a price point for everybody in the business that I do. And I'm very transparent about what I do. If I feel taken advantage of after I do it, then I up my price a bit, or if I feel, or it can go the other direction. I don't feel like I'm giving enough. So I'm going to spend more time on this, or I'm going to do, I've got a great barometer for fairness, I feel. So I'm very good to myself. I have people who say, oh, I wish I was your friend, so you give me free readings. I'm like, hell no, that's not very nice. Like, what are you going to give me? But I've also had clients that became friends because they were very loving, giving people. And I found the value in having their friendship. So, just be fair in business. And so charge what others people pay. Maybe, just fill it out what you feel is fair. And see money as energy exchange. Like even back in the day when I was working for a senior living community, and we were paying like it would be like $9,000 for rent in a month. I'd just be like, this is outrageous. This is like this. I can't sell a $9,000 rent room. Like, are you kidding me? And it scared the crap out of me when I first was doing the job. I was like, I can't. Who do I think I am to sell a $9,000 rent room or something? Like, that's ridiculous. And then I was like, well, that's the going rate. That's what people charge all the time, everywhere for it. So, right or wrong, that's the going rate. So, what was I going to do? It's not like I could be like, oh, it's okay, just pay $300 for rent. They would have been like, well, are you trying to jip me? Or are you trying to like undercut me? Or I don't know what the term would be. I can't think of it. But do you know what I mean? They'd be suspicious. They'd be like, why is only 300? It should be 900. So I had to learn to be more confident about selling it. I was like, $9,009. Who gives a crap? It could be 90,000. Who gives a crap what something costs? It's all just money. It's just exchange. So whatever it is what it is, and just charge it. When I first became a practitioner, I worked as a practitioner at a healing and juice bar, and everybody charged, hey, no, good girl. People would pay like $100 an hour for back then. Or it was, I don't remember how long the session was. Maybe it was 20 minutes, whatever it was. Everybody was charging $100. And I felt very uncomfortable. Oh, no, I can't charge that. That's a lot of money, and these other people have so much more experience and whatnot, and then I was like, wait a minute, I have value and I have a fresh perspective. I may be new at this, but it's fresh. And what I offer is different. And what I do is this, that, and the other thing. And then I started gathering all these testimonials and stuff. And people were just like so grateful and loved it. So then I was like, oh, I guess I am worth $100 for whatever. So don't stop looking at money like it's any big deal. It's just an energetic exchange. And it doesn't matter the price point. It doesn't matter whether somebody pays $20,000 for rent a month to, get some fancy place or whatever. It's like, none of that matters. Just try to see it. Try to just look at the comparisons that are going on and do something that's relevant. And don't try to undercut yourself. Don't put yourself down like that. You're worth what others are worth or more, so figure it out. Figure out what you're worth. Make sure you keep a balance in your business affairs. Absolutely. Like I was talking about, like if someone wants to become a friend, make sure each of you is getting what you need and want out of it. Absolutely. There's got to be that give and take. Be authentic and admit if you don't know or it's not your expertise. So that's another thing I've learned, to say, I don't know the answer to that. I'm not big into astrology. And I don't know. People will ask me like, what star seed am I? And I'll be like, you want to go to Kimberly Palm. She's really great at figuring out which angel, like all the different types of angels and star seeds, or go to Elena Denon, somebody like that. So that's not my expertise. I'll give you what spirit tells me, but it's not going to be as detailed and specific and all that kind of stuff as somebody who has read the books and has a lot of experience with it. But if you can, don't hoard people and be like, you can only come to me for the answers. I like to say, you know what, you should go. I'm a pet psychic. It's one of the things that I do. One of the many hats I wear. And I just had a gal come to me and her dog was lost. So I gave her all the hints and clues that I came up with it intuitively. And I said, you know what, I've got a really good friend who's also a pet psychic. And I think you should go to her too and get a second opinion. Not a second opinion, but just go to her too and see what she says. Because she has a totally different way of dealing with things than I do. She sees things totally different than I do. So putting my 10 things over here that I came up with and putting her 10 things together, you'll have 20 things now, 20 hints and clues to try to find out whatever you can, and her dog did come home and he was alive like I thought he was and everything. So she found that very interesting. She found that really interesting. So, from, looking at both and what we both agreed on and what we didn't agree on and what we, that kind of stuff. So that was really interesting. But yeah, so that way people can trust you. They trust you to tell them, no, that's not the love of your life. I don't like the way he's treating you. He's not good for you. Don't fool yourself and act like, like somehow this is some kind of a good situation. I will tell it to you like it is, or I'll tell you if I don't know anything about that subject, or I'll feel into what spirit says about it. And what spirit says about it might be like more what is the word? I can't think of it, but more I don't know. It's not it'll be different. It'll be different what spirit says to me about it with no education on it versus, like, okay, here's an example. Okay, thank you. All right. So somebody may say, what is my dog's diagnosis? What is their issue? And say it's like a blood disease or something. Like, how the hell would I know that? Or like an iron deficiency or something. I haven't studied the anatomy of a cat or a dog. I can't tell you where they're located on the body and whatnot. And I can't tell you what all the different diseases mean and what they are and what causes what to happen. I'm not a veterinarian. I cannot give you the same information that a veterinarian would tell you, but I can tell you where the animal hurts. And I can tell you what I see in my mind's eye might look like a balloon getting squeezed, or it might look like I might actually see a vein with blood and I see it getting kind of clogged up and foggy. So then I can explain how I see that or whatever, So anyway, it's great if you can refer people to good people. Refer to people that you actually respect and that you like and that that they will have a good experience with, so that they'll come back to you and be like, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. I know that you're good for your word and you always give great advice with whatever spirit gives you, but then you also give really great referrals too if I need it, and you'll tell me the truth no matter if it's a hard pill to swallow or not. So always keep in the first and foremost, be honest. Always be honest. And come from the heart also. Don't let your ego get in the way of you being honest. I've seen some people do that. I've seen people be biased in their readings and stuff like that. And it's because they've had personal experience, or they're jealous of the person that they're doing a reading for. What the heck? I don't know what people. There are weird people out there. But I've seen them do it. I've seen them have like bad practices, really bad practices, and not be in their integrity. To me, that's unfathomable. But that's because I am who I am. But like, I don't know, people do weird stuff. So just, don't let your ego get involved in your business. Keep it completely out. Stay professional and just say it like it. There could be the most gorgeous guy in front of me getting a reading, and I may crack a smile, especially if he does too. And if we're like, oh my God, you're cute. Yeah, you're cute too. Something like that might happen, but it's not going to go beyond like a barely an acknowledgement of that. It's going to be like, because sometimes we just can't help when somebody's attractive, but I will give them the utmost, most authentic and truthful and honest reading with what I get. I'm not going to go, oh, well, I want him to date me, so I'm going to tell him that's a bad person for him to be with or something, trying to get him away from that person so he'll come ask me out or something like that. But there are people out there that do that. So keep your business practices like on the up and up. First and foremost, oh my gosh, I got on a Zoom meeting once. This is a great example too. I got on a Zoom meeting and there were a number of us all on the Zoom call. One gal in particular got singled out by the person who was putting the Zoom call on. A guy and a gal, a team, came on and made this big deal about how beautiful she was. The rest of us were like, well, what are we? Like, it made everybody feel like shit. All the rest of us were just like, okay, this is an enjoyable call. This is going to be an enjoyable hour or two that I have to spend with you now that you've like went on. And they were just like, you are so beautiful. And oh my God. And then the other one was, oh yes, she's so beautiful. That one person out of all these people are so beautiful, it's like, what's going on right now? And that it just really showed me the character. I was just like, okay, they're more 3D than I anticipated, because they should be seeing through the surface level. They shouldn't be letting that affect them professionally, that they would act like that. They may think somebody's really beautiful in their Zoom call, but why would you make everybody else feel? And I mean, talk about being like unconscious. Like, why would you do that? It's mean. It's not very nice to everybody else in the Zoom call. So totally unprofessional. All right. So give to everyone. Number 14, give to everyone everywhere you go. A smile, helpful information, a helpful hand, a hint about what's going on in our world. Open a door, grab something out of reach for them. Ask if they're okay and mean it. Pay for the next person in line. Just show that you care and it will come back to you. I try to do that everywhere I go. I try to joke around with people. I try to laugh. I went and bought a piece of jewelry the other day and I looked like crap. I looked terrible. I had no makeup on. My hair looked terrible. I didn't realize how bad I looked until I got back in my car. But I was in this jewelry store and I felt some judgment, and I'm kind of like, I kind of want to like you, but you kind of look scary right now. And I don't remember like why I looked so bad, but I think I just didn't even look at myself going out the door. My hair must have been doing some kind of wonky, crazy thing too. And I don't know what the deal was, but I kind of, when I got in the car, I was like, oh my God, I look terrible. But they liked me because I was joking, I was laughing, I was talking about, just being very lighthearted, and I could see the conflict within them. I want to like her, but she's kind of scary. She's scraggly looking, like like I don't know. I must have been wearing like just like really like I don't know. But I saw them soften, and I saw them start to like they changed the way that they were treating me. They were being nicer to me, and they lightened up, and they, so whatever you're doing, whatever, you might just change somebody's day or their outlook, or you might change the way they're looking at something. I can't tell you how many times I felt like when I would look at somebody and smile at them, like it just like lifted them for the whole rest of the day. I could tell like something switched for them. And you don't know if you could even be saving a life. by just going in there and just being your radiant self, that your inside will glow no matter what the outside looks like in that moment, whether you're wearing sweats or you look all tattered or whatever is going on, or your hair's all over the place. It won't even matter. Just glow and be you. And they will meet you in that place, and they will be moved by that energy. And if we're all going out there and doing that, just imagine the impact that we can have. And they go home, and then they're nicer to their person that they go home to, and they're, it's just spreads, just paying it forward, Okay, so 15, letting go and healing really aren't actually scary. They really aren't. Once you let go of that little voice in your head that tells you that it's scary and get down to just doing it, it's actually quite liberating and loving for everybody involved. It sets everything and everyone in its proper place in the order of things. It's the loving thing to do. So I just remember having so much resistance to letting go of things and healing. I just thought those were like the worst things you could ever do. You never want to let go of what you want, and you never want to heal. Like, because that, oh my gosh, that could cause tears, crying, upset. I'm going to have to look at stuff I haven't looked at in a long time, and because I'm avoiding it because it hurts. And it's like, dude, when you actually go into it, when you actually face it, it totally dissolves. It totally goes away. It's amazing. It's just boom, gone. And it's like, what did I take so long with that for? All I had to do is go have a good cry about it and hash it out on paper, and boom, it was gone. And then it didn't bother me anymore. Or it might come back and surface, another layer comes up a little bit later, a year later, or a few months later. Oh, I didn't get that piece of it, But it's so much easier. It's like our ego makes us so scared to do it because your ego wants to hold on to you. Your ego wants to keep you scared and small. So it'll tell you, oh, don't go there. Don't even open up Pandora's box because that's going to explode on you. And, so just don't even just tackle it. Go after it. Go into the eye of the storm, and you'll find so much peace there you won't even imagine. I mean, you'll be so glad you did. And the more you get in the habit of doing it and just addressing things right in the moment when it's happening like that, hi, baby, then the better off things will be for you. No. Get down. Get down. She was about to spill my drink and everything. Here. She likes to get under the computer, or like if I'm here doing work and stuff, she gets under the computer so she gets treats. But the second I open the treat door, she jumps down for the treats. She's eating. So I knew what she was doing, but I would have prevented her, but I don't know. I was talking. All right. So don't be scared. Don't be scared of healing and letting go, because you'll be so glad that you did, and you'll feel really silly for not facing it faster. At least I did. Okay, 16. Lying is something that most people do, especially to themselves. But it's also quite liberating to never have to worry which story you told to which person, and trying to keep the information straight. Practice living your life wide open and honest. You take a huge load of stress off. You don't have to tell everyone everything if it doesn't serve the situation. But what you do tell people, you need to be honest about, even if it makes you look bad. If you love yourself, it won't matter what anyone thinks, because you'll have your own back. Honestly, assess your life from time to time. Ask, what are you doing? Hey. Ask to see the truth in all things, and admit the deeper truth to yourself. Even if your whole life has to change, tell on yourself and apologize. You'll be rewarded for it. You won't believe the peace and strength it brings to live unapologetically. So, not to shit on yourself about lying, but if you're lying, and most people are, just admit some truths to yourself. What is your deal? Why are you like on some kind of like what? happened? Did you just go eat some catnip or something? What? What? I'm not your entertainment right now. Go do something else. Go after Nala. Go get her. Go get her. Go on. Hang on a second. Let me get her onto something else. All right. Well, she decided just to go lay down for now. We'll see how that goes. They can be so demanding sometimes. If she were a kid, she'd just be like, just sprawling all over me right now. Mom, when are we going to go do something else? This is boring. Let's. When are we going to go to McDonald's? All right. 17. And this goes to 20. 17. People are sensitive. You're always either discouraging or inspiring others with the way that you live your life and interact with them. Be an example for all who see, but not out of judging yourself or trying to be perfect, but by asking yourself whether, when you're alone, you're living as if it'd be okay for the whole world to see it. If not, or you're trying to hide something, it's time to get real and make the changes needed until you can finally say, okay, here it is. This is the truth of how I'm living, at least for right now. And accept by putting your hand on your heart and repeating, I love you despite this behavior, black mark or blemish. I love you even though. Because the only way to change, now comes Nala, they take turns. One tries to get treats out of me and then the other, okay, your turn, tag team. Because the only way to change anything is to radically accept it. Are you giving others advice that you're not taking yourself? Is this the life you'd want your son or your daughter to live? Would you want your best friend to do what it is you're doing? And look at that from all angles. All the different things, the way you drive, the way the way that you prepare your meals, the way that you interact with people, the way that you talk to people on the phone, the way you treat everybody and everything, the way you treat your animals, like take a good look at all of it, every bit of it. And I feel perfectly happy doing whatever I've been doing with them because I'm myself. Everybody gets irritated with their animals and everybody gets, they do what they do, everybody, if you can just be yourself and just be who you are and do what you do, everybody's got permission to do that. Now that you've seen me do that, now you have permission to do that too. 18, never stop being a kid. 19, keep your place tidy, organized, and make your bed. And don't make somebody else clean up after you. That's horrible. Like that's not very fun. That's not very loving. If you live with somebody, like don't make people clean up after you. Okay, so that's just self-respect and love for yourself, and it's a nice thing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I go around throughout my day and I'm like, oh, Amy, thank you. You set this up so nice. Like, I love you. I'll set things out the night before for me in the morning, and I come out and I'm just like, oh, Amy, you're so great. So it's just like do all kinds of loving things for myself like that. Or when I do make the bed, when I go to take a nap or I go to bed that night, I'm like, oh, Amy, that was so sweet. Thank you for making the bed. So treat yourself like you would, like you're in a relationship with somebody else. Good girl. Thank you. I love you too, baby. Oh, I love you so much. Yeah. No, that does not mean come get treats. Oh my God. If you stay down there, I'll throw you a couple treats right now. Why are you guys fiending right now? What is going on? They want me to get off this video, or maybe they know I'm about to. Oh, now Nala's here for the treats too. Here you go. Here you go. Where are my treats? I need to go get some treats. Okay. And number 20, yay, finally at the end. Use your mind to make things easier. I was feeling pressure on something recently that somebody's working on for me, and they were putting all this pressure on me. Get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. And I'm like, you're working for me. Why are you telling me to hurry up and do this or that or the other thing? They wanted to get paid, and they wanted to get paid right now, even though they hadn't done the complete job yet, and I was just like, I'm not paying you until you do the complete job. Like, no, you're not going to pressure me to do that. And when you pressure people, they make mistakes. I'm like, hey, everybody's just got to chill. Everybody's just got to chill, right? So I was feeling stress around the situation, being like, okay, take a chill pill, do things correctly, do things right. You'll get the money when you get it, when it's everything's good, So I had to like chill the situation out. But so that I didn't have so much anxiety about it, I told myself, I want them to hurry up, you know? Like, yeah, I want them to hurry. They need to get on it. They need to hurry up and get this done with. They need to get this. Don't they want my money? Come on. Like, I want this over with. And when I turned the situation around like that, all of a sudden I was like, yeah, yeah, okay. All right. Now I'm aligned with him. Now we're on the same page because I want it over with too. Let's just get this over with already. So, do that. Whatever you got to do to make things easier on yourself and to make your life doesn't have to be like feel like an uphill battle or like difficult or just make it I feel some of you going like, I try to make it easier. Sometimes though, it's just a brain trick. Like you just have to trick your brain into thinking something different. And it's like a placebo, and it gives you permission to then go ahead and relax or to go ahead and, like I did, and it just came to me to think that. And I was like, oh yeah. And all of a sudden the pressure was gone because I wanted the same thing he wanted then. I wanted him to hurry up and get it done. so but then once I agreed with him, then everything felt better. So you know so anyway, I can't think of any other good. There's tons of examples, but they're not coming to mind. But you know what I mean. Like, you just look at it differently, so it just makes it easier on yourself. So it makes it an easier pill to swallow if you need to, or just see it from a different perspective so that you can make the shifts and changes that you need to. Okay, so I'm gonna do a general blessing like I always do. So if you want to drop your shoulders, take a deep breath and think about like one of those things on there that really popped out for you that you think, oh my gosh, I really need to work on that. I really got to, do this more or do that more or whatever you're thinking about from this talk. I am going to put the intention forth in this blessing for you to feel like to have some epiphanies and awarenesses around it that make it a lot easier for you, that make it like kind of a no-brainer. Like, oh my gosh, now I get it. Okay. Sometimes you hear it from so many different people and so many different angles, and then it doesn't hit home until just the right person says it in just the right way. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, all right, all right, all right, I got it now. So this blessing is going to help you have that moment of like, okay, no more resistance to this. This makes sense now. Okay. I just realized one of the reasons that cats might be acting like that. They might be wanting to go outside. Okay. Shishe san leki intante ila upon la sanse shikila natan tite shishihe na akiens hala sanse le shishina umpo amana ai. Okay, so if you found this video to be valuable, perhaps you might want to share it with a friend of yours or a relative of yours or somebody who you feel like could use it and have some epiphanies themselves. Thank you for spending this time with me, and hopefully you did get something out of it that's really going to accentuate your life for the better, make it happier, less stressful, easier for you. And I do have readings available. I'm doing readings. I was going to say, well, that's weird. Huh. There must be something that's about to go on with my schedule. So there may be something coming up in the works. I guess if you've been thinking about getting a reading right now, it'd probably be a really good time to book one, because there might be a time coming up when I'm going to take some time off. I just had that feeling. So anyway, I do have 20 and 45-minute remote readings available. All you got to do is go to my website, become a member of the Awakened Alliance by going to awakenedalliance.org. And then once you're in the site, then you go to services and you can order a reading there. For that matter, if you watch my Q&As every week, you can order a question on the Asking Me Q&A part. It's also in the services. So yeah, have a great day, and I will talk to you later.